Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Last time, Godot, oh my god, he effed up our world. So let's just jump right in.
He did a big old bait and switch. That's what he did.
He did the ultimate bait and switch. He is the king of bait and switch in my eyes.
He's like, hey, are you sure you were at the office? Yeah, we were at the office. Are you 100% sure? Yeah, we have evidence for it. Okay, perfect. Okay, you're not the thief. You're a murderer!
You know, I'm glad we found the urn and all, but poor Mr. Delight got arrested again.
Well, supposedly Mr. Delight was in the CEO's office when the murder occurred.
No way, Jose! I don't buy it! But the one who proved that Mr. Delight was there was Mr. Nick himself, at least from what I understand. Looks like you did good of a job this time, Nick. Looks like you did too good of a job this time, Nick.
Well, how about we get started by looking into the KB security murder?
I think I'm going to head back to Korean Village for a little while, if that's all right. Sure, but why? I'm going to bring the sacred urn back and have some people take a look at it.
Oh, hey, it's spelled correctly now.
Hey.
Oh, that's a good idea. I think I'll go with... No, Mystic Maya, you should stay here. I want you to spend some quality, special time together, full of love and happiness.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Lord, child. Pearl is so caught up in her fantasies, she forgot there's a murder to solve.
Now remember, no fighting, okay?
No promises. She's gone.
Okay, Nick, time to get on with this murder investigation.
All right.
You could talk to... Yeah, it's saying talk to Maya first.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
So what do we do now?
Isn't it obvious? We should get out there and investigate the murder.
Well, first we need to find out exactly where KB security is located.
Hey, why don't we ask Miss Delight? She should know. Besides, I want to ask her some stuff about motorcycles.
Motorcycles? You're not thinking of getting one, are you?
I'm not the same little Maya who used to be happy with her dinky little bike, Nicky boy.
Imagine Maya in a biker's outfit.
She would crash the motorcycle.
Yeah, but she'll be hot in leather, though.
Yeah, okay, fine. Leather and all, but I'm not gonna say she's very hot when her organs are spilled out all over the fucking crosswalk. Did I read that line, actually?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, that was the line.
She said something about...
You just didn't give it Maya voice.
Oh.
No, I'm just joking.
Okay, well, let's make sure to go to the detention center, too.
Sacred urn. You must be relieved we got the sacred urn back, huh?
You bet! But there's something a little different about it. Don't at me. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I mean, take a look at this. It certainly says I am on the urn in this poster. But the urn we got back says Ami, like it always used to.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Plus, the vase has pink splotches on it now. I'm sure they weren't there before.
Maya doesn't know, but 1 year ago, when the urn was broken, the repair accidentally turned Mystic Ami's name into I am. And the repairer was one mechanically unskilled little Pearls. But still, I don't remember ever seeing pink splotches on it.
Is it possible that the urn is a fake?
I'm sure Pearls will find out about that once she gets back to Korean Village.
Yeah, I suppose.
Now now that I think about it. Maya hasn't been back to Crane Village in a long time. So, I guess people still go to Crane Village to do their training, right?
Yep. If you want to become a spirit medium, you need to undergo severe training.
So why haven't you been training lately, Maya?
Well, lately I've been thinking of heading to a channeling dojo to do just that.
A channeling dojo, huh? Sounds pretty serious, whatever that is.
If you're going to train, you have to be serious. Otherwise, real tragedies can happen.
Is what happened last year still bothering you?
Maya, that was not your fault.
That murder in her village. It happened because the power of channeling was misused. When a medium uses the crane technique, she temporarily loses her own will. So when an especially strong spirit is summoned, the spirit medium can get taken over, and even forced to commit terrible crimes. What's worse, in those cases, the spirit medium has no memory of what happened. That murder. It wasn't your fault, Maya. You know that, don't you?
I suppose not, but I guess I'm still a bit shaken up, that's all.
Sounds like being the master of Crane is going to be a heavy responsibility.
All right, now time to go to the mask hideout.
Damask.
Mask to mask. Oh, Nicky boy, Maya.
Miss Delight.
All I wanted to do was help my dear Ronnie.
Yeah, but I guess it ended up hurting his case.
Don't say that, Nick! She doesn't need your help beating herself up!
Hey, Nicky boy, please help Ronnie. He's not a killer, I swear. My Ronnie wouldn't hurt a fly.
Well, I'm gonna help you just because of the fact that, looking at that guy, there is no way he has the stomach to commit murder. So we gotta get him out of there. All right.
He wouldn't. I've seen his type. He doesn't survive well in prison.
Oh God, I didn't even think about that. He goes in there and he's what they call fresh meat.
Being a femboy is all fun and games until you go to prison. That's one for the no context account right there. Really? Are you serious? Oh, I'm so happy. I knew asking for your help would be the right thing to do. I don't know what I could do to help anymore.
I had no idea Miss Delight had such a vulnerable side. She didn't look like the type. Let's see what she can tell us.
Listen carefully, Nicky boy. My Ronnie would never, ever kill anyone. It's just not in him.
I don't think he would either, Nick.
Yeah, but you have to admit he's got a bit of a temper to him. It's not that hard to imagine him just snapping and screaming, "Please die!"
He would never say that! Anyway, Mr. Light, he might not be a killer, but he's still going around saying he's a thief.
I told you, that's a fantasy of him. A fantasy for him.
Miss Delight, I hate to say it, but you're the one living in a fantasy world.
What? How dare you say that to me, Nicky boy? I know everything about my Ronnie. We don't have any secrets between us. Ronnie isn't the thieving type. He's so honest that he won't even sneak a nap. He's so honest that he wouldn't even steal a glance. A thief. Ha! That's a very idea.
I guess I just don't get it.
Huh? Get what?
I just can't understand how they can be so different, and yet such a happy couple.
Yeah, they sure are different.
Oh, now, Nicky boy, it's not that mysterious, is it? It was love at first sight. For me, anyway.
Did you see him or his wallet first?
What? For you?
Alright, Detective Atmee.
Hate these kind of people more than anything.
You mean ace detectives?
No, I'm fine with ace detectives.
Oh, so then you must mean thieves.
No, they're alright too. I just hate thieves that pretend to be ace detectives. There's nothing I hate more than cowardly men.
Did you realize who you married? Alright, something's not right with this chick right here.
By the way, why did you go to Detective Atmee's office anyway?
As the trial went on, I started getting more and more anxious. I went there to try to find out more about the real criminal.
The real criminal?
Yes, obviously the real Master Mask is not my Ronnie, right?
Yeah?
And Detective Atmee knew more about Master Mask than anyone else. They mentioned him on the Great People Around Town segment on TV.
So then, you went there to ask him some questions?
That's right. I'll do anything, whatever it takes to save my man. His secretary said the ace detective isn't in right now. But I forced my way past her and into his hideout.
I wouldn't exactly call that office of his, hideout.
That bag was sitting right there on top of the table.
Oh yeah! We saw that bag there yesterday too!
There's nothing lower than someone who tries to pin a crime on someone else.
Isn't that like all criminals?
Pretty much.
Miss Delight, do you know about KB Security?
Don't be silly. Of course I do. That's where my Ronnie works.
So she thinks he still works there, huh? And yet, according to what we heard today...
Come on. Don't tell me you didn't know. Ron Delight was once an employee at KB Security. He was a professional security guard.
Ron quit. He doesn't work there anymore.
It looks like Miss Delight doesn't know.
KB Security's only about 20 minutes away. By motorcycle, that is.
Larry told me it takes 30 minutes by car.
Well, I have to admit, I tend to fly pretty fast on my bike.
To make it to KB Security that fast, are you sure you aren't literally flying?
Why don't I give you a ride sometimes? Or better yet, how about now?
No, I'll pass. Thanks. Why don't you just tell us where it is and we'll go ourselves?
What a scaredy cat you are, Nick.
Miss Delight told us the location of KB Security.
Okay, let's head over there right away, Nick.
Okay, first, love at first sight, alright?
So was it really love at first sight when you first met Mr. Delight?
Well, maybe not at first sight, but Ronnie saved my life.
Saved your life?
I was at work one day when two robbers suddenly rushed in. Well, I'm not the kind to just crawl into a little ball in a corner, so I fought back.
Robbers!
Yes, they took me hostage. I was so frightened. They were both carrying huge knives, and I broke down in tears.
Yeah, I would too if I were in that situation.
Oh, I think I get it. Did Mr. Delight come running to save you?
Yes, exactly! I remember he looked so handsome in that guard uniform of his. Look at the robber faces!
What the fuck? Is that dude wearing a condom over his head?
I think it's supposed to be pantyhose, but it does look like a condom.
Pantyhose.
We have the condom man and Mr. Pogface. He went right up to those two knife-wielding robbers and screamed in their faces.
Please stop it!
He screamed. I could see the robber's face turn pale.
That high-pitched shriek of his does have a surprisingly strong effect on people.
Then, crying and swinging his arm like crazy, he attacked the two robbers. All by himself. He came to save me, a total stranger, all by himself. He was so scared that he was crying and shaking, but he still risked his life for me.
Wow, that's a great story.
Ron has balls of steel. You gotta go with it. We gotta go with that.
I mean, yeah,
Yes.
credit where credit's due. Even if his face was covered in tears, to run up to two robbers holding knives, that takes some inner strength.
Courage is not the absence of fear. It's just acting even with fear. There's a big difference between the two of them.
I would
Yes.
say it's more courage is more overcoming fear.
Yeah.
Acting with fear is just panic.
Fair enough. Yes, he may not look it, but in a tough situation, there's no one better. That's why I fell in love with him like I did.
That's so romantic. I'd fall in love too, I guess.
Nick, I hope you'll do the same for me if I ever get taken hostage.
Bitch, we already did!
Yeah! Hello? Like last year? Hey, where's my thank you kiss, by the way? With Maya, that possibility always seems to loom in the not-so-distant future. Oh, you two just get married already?
Alright, time to go to the CEO's office.
Seriously, I low-key agree with Pearl.
You ship them so hard.
Kinda.
I know the body probably fell out of the safe, but it looks like the dude was like crushed by the door.
Ugh. So I guess this is where it all went down, huh?
The walls in here look thick, just like you'd expect in a CEO's office.
What has that got to do with anything?
Imagine just Red White just showing up. What's your name?
What's your name? Very good!
Hey, it's you guys.
For anybody who didn't get that joke, Red White in the Phoenix Wright anime, the Japanese version, has these hilarious moments where he talks in English. Just super over-the-top, botched English by a Japanese man. It is as funny as it sounds. Oh, it's Detective Gumshoe.
It's a real train wreck for you guys, huh?
Sure was, pal. That prosecutor made real fools out of us.
Yeah, I feel for you.
Wow, that's not like you at all. I thought you'd be more like, oh, that was great! You guys got what you deserve, pal! Ho! Or something to that effect.
Really sound like that to you, pal?
Well, maybe in the first game, but Maya, I think things have changed a little bit.
He's like got our back for the most part.
If the gumshoe fits.
Well, anyway. The point is, I could tell when someone put their heart into their jobs. And I could sympathize when things don't go your way. He's the man that wrote the book on that. Let's just be real. Sometimes I feel like wrong is the only way things go for us detectives.
Wow, I had no idea Detective Gumshoe was such a nice guy.
Now if this love fest is over, maybe we can start investigating. Alright. Let's see if we got any autopsy reports.
Detective Gumshoe, tell us what you know about the murder.
Okay, but the thing is, I'm really not supposed to.
Hey, come on. What about put our hearts into our work? What about how we put our hearts into our work? Things are really working against us right now and we need help.
Okay, I'll tell you. Just don't start crying on me, okay, pal?
Maya, remember that trick works on him.
Got it, Nick. Okay, I won't cry on you, pal.
Victim's name is Kane Bullard.
He looks like George Washington, only with darker hair.
Yeah, we got George Washington. Okay,
And if he was
he's
an
the
obese
victim.
bitch.
He's the CEO of KB Securities and a pretty big fella in his own right.
Whose idea was it to keep this man on the top floor? That could have gone wrong in a lot of ways.
His corpse was discovered at 9 a.m. this morning. His estimated time of death was 1 o'clock in the morning on October 12th. Cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. Probably an object in this room.
It happened at the exact same time that Master Mask was stealing the urn, huh? Let's see, okay, so time of death, 10:12, 1 a.m.
Cerebral hemorrhaging.
Cerebral hemorrhaging from blunt trauma.
That's
to
like
the head.
a like,
Yeah, that's
you
when
know, like
that's
the
when like your
internal
brain
brain
bleeds, right?
Yeah.
Ooh. So this
Damn, dude.
this guy died slowly.
It could have been fast. Who knows?
If it's hemorrhaging, I think it's gonna be a bit slow.
So why did it take almost an entire day to discover the body?
There's a good explanation for that
Oh,
one.
he was stuffed in the safe, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Bullard's body was stashed away inside the safe.
Safe. Well, it is pretty big. Well, who closed the safe?
Nobody had heard from him, and when they opened the safe this morning, out he came.
Oh, so the body fell out. That white string must be the shape from when he fell out.
Holy shit, can you imagine opening the safe and then just some guy just falls on you? Some dead guy comes out?
I think there'd be two bodies because I would have a heart attack.
I'll be like, can I get... I'm taking my, I'm taking a day off. I'm done. I'm done!
Just gotta get into the safe. Oh god, a dead body. All right, I'm taking my vacation now.
You go to the secretary, like, you call 911. I'm out of here. I'm out.
Call up your wife. Honey, we're going to Fiji a month early. I think we still need some more information about Mr. Bullard. Maybe if you could start by getting the man's name right.
So, what happened to Master Mask?
Detention center screaming like a madman. Investigate me again! He keeps yelling.
No, I didn't mean him. He's not the real thief anyway, right?
Oh, you mean that Detective Atmee? Oh, that was great! That guy got what he deserved!
Now that the detective Now that's the detective I know and love.
Think about it. Atmee was always around. Calling card showed up. But he always mysteriously disappeared when the heist took place. I was hiding at the crime scene. Yeah, right. That's the lamest thing I've ever heard. That's how you just knew he was the thief.
That would explain how he was able to retrieve the stolen item he kept bragging about.
Yeah, he just did that to make himself look like a great detective. That's all. But there's this one thing I couldn't figure out about his first heist.
His first heist?
Yeah, the Tear of Amity case. There's a witness on that one.
A witness?
Here, I saved the newspaper clipping. Since the thief is already under arrest, you guys can keep it.
The gem and the thief.
Hey! This guard here. Haven't I seen him somewhere before?
It's pretty small, so it's kind of hard to see. But now that she mentions it...
Is it Ron?
It might be Ron. Looking at his hair, it could be him. Prosecutor Godot.
Oh! That prosecutor! I really don't like that guy. The way he used our own evidence to do that to Mr. Delight!
I think he did that that way just because he knew it'd hurt more. That's what my gut's telling me anyway.
So who is that Java-addicted masked maniac anyway?
Prosecutor Godot? He's quite an enigma, huh?
I want to know why he's wearing a friggin' robot mask.
Because it's cool. The thing is, pal, I never even heard of that guy before. He just showed up one day at the prosecutor's office. Came out of nowhere.
That's right. He said that this was his first case as a prosecutor.
And it's true. According to the things anyway. What? No way, he's an amateur. He's an Iceman of the court. A maverick that gave me goosebumps.
Goosebumps? You?
Yeah, I knew something was off about him, so I asked around. Nobody would talk to me. They all just turned the other way.
Poor Detective Gumshoe. I had no idea you were so unpopular.
No, that's not what I meant.
That Godot guy acts like he knows me and has a grudge against me. I get the feeling he's hiding some kind of dark secret. Well, with that mask, it's not unreasonable.
Presents Kane's profile.
Kane, okay.
Detective Gumshoe, tell us more about Shane Blueboard.
It's Kane Bullard, not Shane Blueboard, pal.
Oh yeah, the victim in this case just doesn't make much of an impression on me.
Well, you were the victim up until Mr. Bullard was found dead.
Yeah, and his body wasn't discovered until this morning.
Anyway, we don't have enough information yet. Can you help us out?
Sorry, I'm actually a little confused myself. For some reason, I'm just blabbing like an idiot right now.
Okay, Nick, now's our...
Oh dear.
Okay, Nick, now's our chance to get some more info about the victim, so hurry up and ask.
Oh,
Yep.
Chica just followed.
Oh, well, thank you. Can you tell us some more about Mr. Bullard?
He was the CEO of KB Security, right? What kind of company is this anyway?
Well, the companies basically send security teams out to buildings to guard them. Mr. Bullard must have had the chance to learn a lot of secrets doing this kind of work.
Oh, and?
And I don't know how to put this, but the guy was kind of a money grubber.
Really? Me too! I just love money! I can't ever get enough of it!
Please stop leaning in towards me like that. You aren't getting to my wallet. She's trying to steal his wallet.
Yes, Phoenix, like, I got nothing in this wallet except for, like, 50 cents and a coupon for haircuts. I got a overmaxed credit card, a punch card to the coffee place down the street, and 50 cents to my name.
Oh yeah, and there's this little voucher. Buy 10 burgers, get one free. We're on burger 9, you gluttonous little brat!
Anyway, it looks like he did some pretty shifty stuff to earn his millions.
Oh? So that's my problem. I need to be shiftier.
Let me go already.
Apparently, he was involved in selling trade secrets between rival companies.
Hmm.
Damn.
Oh, that's pretty dirty and underhanded.
Yeah. Oh, KB Security used to be head of security operations against Mask to Mask.
What? Really?
Yeah, and after screwing up so many times, the company's reputation really took a nosedive.
So it really was Bullard who sent Ron the blackmail letter, huh?
Let's see here. Examine the thick file on the bottom of the screen.
Okay, thick file. Well, let's take a look at some other things, why don't we?
Okay.
This rope. You think it fell out of the safe when it opened?
I don't think so.
So you mean...
Yeah, I think this string shows where and how the corpse was lying.
You mean... the victim? He was killed by being crushed by a safe door?
She can't be serious, can she? How does she get more and more nuts every game?
Ew! Think about it! A dead guy was lying in here all night!
Yeah. Oh, by the way, don't bother asking about fingerprints. There were none.
Well, somebody opened this safe on the night of the crime, right?
Yeah! And so?
Well, if Mr. Bullard's body was hidden in here, it must mean that it was opened by either the killer or the victim, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I got some bad news for you, pal. Are you ready?
No. Okay. Shoot.
Opening this baby's no piece of cake. There's only a few people who know how to open the safe, pal.
Yeah, and?
Everyone that knows how to open this safe had airtight alibis. I checked. Everyone except one, that is.
I'm almost afraid to ask.
Former security chief, Ron Delights.
Frick!
What? Ron Delight? He was the security chief?
Ron? So he knew how to open the safe? Huh.
Yeah, sorry for raining on your parade there, pal.
Okay, how about this painting?
Wow! Look at that huge framed photo!
Tall mountains rising majestically against a dark, cloudy sky.
There's a title written at the bottom of the photo. The greatest sunrise of my life. This is it? This was his best sunrise?
Either this guy didn't get out enough, or he had really rotten luck with the weather.
Maybe if he had lived a little longer, he would have seen some better days.
Huh, I wonder. Some kind of panic button.
Oh, there's a button here. Let's see.
Oh, god damn it, Maya!
Hey, let me down! Don't press that!
That was pretty funny. I never knew Detective Gumshoe could jump like that.
What is that button anyway?
It's an emergency buzzer! It says right there on the panel!
Oops, you're right. It was written right there. Nick, how many times have I told you to read the instructions first?
Alarms connected to the basement guard room. It's used to summon security up here.
Really? Then it's possible that on the night of the crime...
Oh! So when the CEO was attacked, do you think that maybe he pressed the buzzer?
Yeah, I thought about that, so I asked around down there. But they said that the buzzer never went off that night.
Okay.
Also, we couldn't find any fingerprints on the buzzer. Mr. Bullard, the victim, wasn't wearing any gloves, by the way. Just so you know.
I think we'd better go and talk to that guard about this emergency buzzer. Alright. What else?
Nick, let's look at his browser history.
This must be the CEO's desk. It's a lot simpler than I thought it would have been.
Hey, that looks like a super soft chair. Let me try it out just for a second. Oh, nice. I feel just like a CEO. Hey, you! Put me up a cup of something really expensive. Or some really expensive import tea. And some scones. Move it! Ah, this is the life.
The victim sat in that chair just before he was brutally killed, you know. I just imagine she's like gripping on the ceiling like a cat.
Maya, please come down.
No! Scary!
They just have to like put a burger on the ground to get him to come down.
These look like some kind of bookshelf or rolling cabinet hybrids.
I can't get in between these two shelves.
Don't strain yourself trying. It looks like the shelves are controlled by a special panel.
So I guess it's one shelf at a time, huh? Looks like they're filled to the brim with a bunch of files.
Yeah, files filled with data about security jobs they were hired to handle.
Could be a good night's reading.
If you got insomnia.
I was hoping for something a little more exciting, like UFOs or something.
Alright, now what's in this book? Check out this big, thick binder here.
Leave the heavy lifting to me, Nick.
Reading a file isn't exactly back-breaking work. Just a little hard on the eyes.
Ah! What did you find out, Nick?
This file. It's not about any sort of security operations or anything. This huge file is all about Mast to Mast. It's filled with info on him.
What? What kind of info?
It's filled with incredibly detailed information about his methods and the crime scenes.
Hey, Nick, look at the last page.
It's a list. Let's see. Tier of Amanin? Is that how you say that?
I think so.
Tier of Amanin, $100,000. This looks like a list of all the treasures that Mast to Mast stole.
So then $100,000 is the value of this stolen item?
I don't know. That number does sound kind of low to me. I think I'd better secretly make a copy of this list. Okay. Let's take a look at this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the Tier of Amanin, 100,000. Crown of Bongora. Left Hand of Hades. A Portrait of Magina.
So getting progressively more and more expensive.
Interesting. Looks like
one
Luke
last thing,
Atmee was
present
trying to
the
one-up
black-
himself every time.
Mm-hmm. Present the blackmail letter to come to you.
Oh, no, wait, this must be the blackmail. This one. Here we go. About this blackmail letter.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about it too, pal. Why would Kane Bullard have been blackmailing Wrong Delight anyway?
Well, Mr. Delight used to work at KB Security, right? But what was it that made him quit?
Nick, that's it! Maybe that's the reason he's being blackmailed.
Well, I'm in the middle of investigating that right now.
Oh, alright.
Alright, now let's move to the security room.
Alright. Here we are. Okay, dude's got a leather jacket just hung up right there on what looks to be some kind of master switch looking thing. Oh, this is gonna be a character. Quite the character, I'm betting. Wow. This is really something else.
For a security office, it sure does feel very secure.
KB security guard. Uh-oh. I just remembered. Larry might be... Oh, no.
Nick, what's up?
So he is here.
Yo, how's it hanging, dude? And you got my sweet little Maya with you, too.
Hi, Larry.
Here I was working my finger to the bone. And walks an angel. I've got no problem with a daytime date. It's all good.
Stay away. No, that's not what we're here for. We're investigating the Bullard murder case.
Huh? Oh, yeah, that's right. You're a lawyer, aren't you?
What the fuck? Ugh.
Remember, I defended you.
He's so hopelessly clueless.
In my headcanon, he's a total pothead. He's just stoned out of his mind at all times. Well, if it's about the murder case, boy, have I got some good info for you.
Really? What is it?
Well, I don't mind sharing it with my sweet little Maya. But Nick here's a different story.
But Larry, I thought you two were old school buddies.
That was then, and this is now.
Okay. So that's how we're gonna play this game, Larry. Well, let's hear the explanation for a frickin' jacket on a master switch.
That's his jacket.
Hey, Larry, that's your jacket, isn't it?
That's right.
Did you know you hung it right over some kind of lever?
Yeah, sure. Sorta never, ever touched that lever. She scolded and huffed at me. Something terrible will happen if you do. Got it, Greenhorn?
So why hang your jacket on such an important lever?
Because I wanted to. Because it got me curious. If the jacket's weight pulls the lever down, that's what they call an accident. Doesn't the suspense just kill you? Don't you want to know what will happen? Huh?
Well, I know one thing. You'll get fired, and I'll be laughing.
It's true. It's killing me too. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, but for a different reason. Okay, now what the hell are these?
It's my partner's seat.
Your partner?
Well, that's what I call her. She's my superior, actually. Kind of a weird old lady.
I was about to have a panic. I'm like, oh no, old bag. But then I remembered, oh yeah, they didn't have enough room in the game files for old bag.
Old bag is not in here.
There's tea spilled all over the machine, you know.
Don't worry about it. Just the other day, I spilled some chocolate milk on mine. It still works fine, more or less. They really know how to build them, I guess.
What's this? Something is written on this poster in the fine print.
A guard's 5 commandments. Wow, this sounds serious. Let's see what it says. Number 1, obey thy superior. Number 2, respect thy superior. Number 3, smile at thy superior. 4, salute thy superior. 5, buy donuts for thy superior upon command. It's signed Wendy Oldbag, head supervisor.
Oh, we were maybe a few megabytes away from having to deal with old bag again. Praise the Lord.
It was just supposed to be like a one-off little joke in the credits. But they couldn't even fit her in there.
No old bag. Hell yeah.
She's one tough old bird, let me tell you. Cross her and you come face to face with a real genuine ray gun.
Yeah, sounds scary, all right.
Well, fortunately, she's on vacation. That's why I'm so relaxed right now.
All right, well, you know what? Now, I can't lie. I kind of would like to see a Larry Butz versus Old Bag kind of situation.
That would be funny. Old Bag would whip, like, Larry into shape.
Oh, she could try, and that's what would be funny.
The screens there show what's going on all over the building, everywhere. And it's my job to keep a steady eye on them, all of them.
I wouldn't sound so smug if I were you.
Can you watch regular TV on these too?
If anyone would sit here and watch TV instead of working, it's Larry.
Maya, I'm a pro, okay? Besides, you can't get regular TV on it.
And how do you know that, Larry?
Because that was my first bit of investigation, if you know what I mean. You know what you're thinking? I'm a professional investigator. It was a personal investigation, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Press X to doubt.
All right, well.
Slam the X button.
Alright, well, I guess now we gotta talk to Larry. So what's this good info you were talking about, Larry?
Hey, I'm a guard, a pro. I can't just give away information for free.
He wants a bribe? I thought professionals were more, I don't know, honest? Can you talk to him, Maya?
Larry, tell us already. What's this good info?
Yeah, I like that. This kid has got some clout. Okay, you really want to know?
Yes, so tell me.
Okay, so the thing is, Ron Delight was an employee here. And naturally, since I'm a pro, I looked in his background. Follow me?
Yes, you're a pro. I follow you. Go on.
Well, 1 year ago, Ron Delight was fired. There was no warning sign at all. It just happened all of a sudden. I know this is a small company, but I think that's pretty awful.
I guess he must have done something bad to have gotten fired like that.
Maybe, maybe skipping out on some work to pick up some hot chicks or something.
No, that's just you. So what's it like to be a part-time security guard?
Let me tell you, it's tough. Well, you know me. I get by all right, I guess. First, I had to keep my eye on the monitors all the time.
Monitors?
These are security cameras set in each room around the building. It's really hard. Sometimes I feel like my eyes are gonna fall out.
Oh,
If I see something suspicious, I have to contact one of the teams.
what teams?
The security teams for this company. We're supposedly the best in the business. But I'm no amateur either. So if it's something small, I don't bother calling them.
So in other words, you basically... Excuse me.
Bless you.
So in other words, you basically watch TV screens all day long. God, what a job. That sounds awesome. You were in this office when the murder took place, weren't you?
Well, why do you say that? This is just a part-time job for me. I can't operate the equipment, and I'm dumb.
Even if it's part-time and you're dumb, you're still in charge of security here.
Give me a break. Don't try to blame the whole thing on me.
But this is exactly... No, we're perfectly within our right.
There, Nick.
Oh, it is very fair. Huh?
I don't think you can expect someone like him to take any responsibility.
Anyway, the point is you were here that night, right?
Motherfucker! Was he out there chasing chicks?
Oh no. I knew something smelled bad. And it was the Butz after all.
Oh, it's like I always say. That was then and this is now, okay?
It looks like I'm going to have to break his psych locks after all. Do you think we have what we need?
We have everything we need. Present this break these.
All right, Butz. The night of the crime. On the night of the crime, you were working hard like you were supposed to?
What? Huh? Of course I was. Why would I have been?
But didn't you sneak out of work just yesterday to go see Miss Delight?
But that was that, and this is...
Is there any chance that you snuck out of work last night, too?
Never! I didn't sneak out! I tell you what, I'll even bet you $1.
$1? Wow. Now that's confidence.
What's with that drenched in the rain puppy look on your face? Do you have evidence that I left my position, or are you just pulling my chain?
Evidence that Larry was not manning his station when the murder happened is... I'm actually not sure.
So, remember what we said earlier. He presented the wallet to Delight. To Desiree.
Oh, so maybe he left his post because he saw his wallet on the camera?
Yeah, it says it was found around 1 a.m., the time of the murder.
Okay. It's been like 2 weeks. I'm gonna need like refreshers on everything.
It's okay.
This wallet. You know about this, right?
I never seen it before.
Liar! You hand-delivered this wallet to Miss Delight just yesterday.
Give me a break. You can't expect me to remember every little thing that happens.
Well, I do expect you to remember something that happened just yesterday. What time was it when you found this wallet?
Yes, it was around 1 in the morning on the first floor of our company building. What, 1 o'clock? In the morning?
That's right. In other words, Larry, at the time of the murder, you were away from the security guard office.
Yeah, but there's something you don't know about.
What's that?
My shift that day didn't start until 10 p.m. The murderer might have snuck in before then.
What do you mean by that?
If the murderer had snuck in before 10 p.m., then it wasn't my fault. It was the fault of the guy whose shift was before mine.
Why do I have the feeling he still doesn't get the seriousness of this? Listen up, Larry. We know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the killer snuck into the CEO's office after 10 p.m. during your shift. Oh, I get it. The key card.
Yep.
Larry, when you use this key card, does it leave a record?
Yeah, it does. But I can't show the record to just anyone, you know?
That keycard data was already made public in the trial today.
What? I didn't know that. Any kind of request for info like that is supposed to go through me.
Boy, does that sound a bit arrogant coming from a part-time guard. Anyway, according to the data, the door to the CEO's office was opened with this card. Furthermore, it was most definitely used at 1 a.m., the time of the murder.
Hey!
Yes. Someone used this to get into the CEO's office. That happened at 1 a.m. on the night of the crime, right in the middle of your shift. Larry, you can't duck your responsibility this time.
No!
Say bye to your job, asshole.
Nick, do you know I've had 25 part-time jobs the past 6 months?
We'll get ready to increase to 26.
Oh, I knew it! It's all my fault! It's my fault the boss was killed! My fault!
Well, it's good that you're taking responsibility.
Larry,
There was nothing I could do! I have important issues to deal with too, man!
Like thinking with your other head?
I just want chicks, Nick!
What happened that night anyway?
My Donna happened.
huh? Your Donna?
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, my Donna called and said, I have to talk to you right away. So I went to see her and she was standing right there next to her. He was standing right next to her.
Who was?
Her new boyfriend. It was like some horrible joke.
Oh, God.
I knew what was going on. The guy sucked me right in the kisser. Normally, normally I'm the one that does the punching. Isn't that right, Maya?
Yeah.
So is that why you left the security guard office?
I'm sorry. It's all my fault.
Oh my God.
How can I ever make it up for you, Nick? What can I do? What?
Okay, I actually I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little bad for Larry here. His girlfriend dumps him that night, and then his boss gets murdered, which is on him.
He realized, yeah, he realized that the girl he was dating was like using him to like, I guess like cheat on her boyfriend, and the boyfriend's taken out on him once he found out.
And then his boss fucking dies.
Yeah, poor Larry.
Yikes!
I mean, I can't say he doesn't bring this crap on himself, but
Still, it
Yikes.
sucks.
He's curled on the floor, crying like a baby.
oh boy.
Is there anything I can do? Anything, just name it. I'll do whatever I have to make it up for you. I swear I will.
Larry.
Hey, Nick, as long as he's offering, why don't you show him the evidence we've got?
She's right. Maybe we'll get at least one bit of useful information from him. Okay, so what should we present to him?
The buzzard that buzzes to the security office.
Okay.
The buzzer in the CEO's office is directly connected to this room, right?
That's right. Just like my heart is connected to yours, Maya.
Oh, would you get lost? That's
Larry,
not
do you
happening.
want another punch in the face?
Huh?
Go ahead, Maya. Press the buzzer in your hearts. I promise I'll come running to your rescue, like the professional guard I am.
Wow, that was pretty good.
Thanks, I try.
Does he realize he's hitting on her?
I don't think she realizes.
Okay.
Do you think you could tell us about the buzzer now?
Yes, please tell us.
Okay, I guess so. Prepare to be wowed.
Okay, so now we... Here we go.
I accidentally pressed the buzzer earlier.
Yeah, I heard it. So that's what, so that was you, huh?
You're a security guard, aren't you? Why didn't you come to the CEO's office?
Oh, this is the 3rd floor of the basement. The CEO's office is at the 1st floor. I thought it would be a good idea to adopt a wait-and-see approach.
Oh, for the love of God, Larry.
Plus, there's police detectives here, right? I just didn't think it was necessary.
It's as if he's trying to win an award for the laziest person on the planet.
He's competing with Patrick Starr.
Let's get back to talking about the night of the murder, okay? Is it true that the buzzer didn't go off last night?
There must be a record, right? You must have had to look, or you must have had a look at it, right?
Yes, I did. I couldn't possibly have made a mistake either.
Do you think you could take just one more look for me? Pretty please?
Oh, okay. I just can't say no to you, Maya.
Nick, check it out. I'm learning my sister's charm of getting stuff from guys.
Good work, Maya. Keep it up.
What do you think, Nick?
He's probably right. I don't think even Larry could.
What is it? What's wrong?
Mistake!
Of course.
Huh? But how?
Can't be! It's impossible!
Okay, enough already. What about the records?
That night, it went off just once in the morning at around 1 a.m.
1 a.m. That's when the murder happened.
Really? Are you serious? That's terrible. It can't be.
We need a Larry's Getting Fired song. Oh, Larry's getting fired again today. I don't know. Help me out with some lyrics.
I have no clue. Okay, so we examined the list. That is part 2 of Smells Like Old Bag Achievement. So
Okay.
after that, let's move to the Expedition Hall.
Actually, the Larry Getting Fired song could just be his theme song.
Okay,
It's
so
the Larry Getting Fired song.
The Larry Getting Fired song. Larry's got a small dog. You said Exhibition Hall, right?
Yep. And then we're going to the basement.
Larry's so pathetic we can't even make up a song for him. That's true.
Oh my gosh.
The treasure of Karain exhibit is all ruined now.
Maya.
I'm sorry. It's just so sad. This was our big chance for everyone to learn about spirit channeling.
Maybe I can cheer her up somehow. Buy her a burger. The little glutton will be happy at that. Well, now that we've got the sacred urn back, maybe they can reopen it.
Really?
Sure, maybe we can label it the Urn of Master Mask's Desires. That would probably attract a lot of attention.
Whoa! 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 That's brilliant, Nick! We could clean up and be filthy rich! Woohoo!
Wow, that was surprisingly easy. Alright, so... Actually... Is there something I should examine here?
Nope, we go to the basement.
No, alright.
There's someone we need to talk to.
Oh, yeah? Oh, it must be, God, what's her name?
Andrews.
Right, Andrews.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Wright.
You don't look well these days, Andrews. Miss
I am
Andrews.
so strung out.
What's she still doing hanging around down here for?
So, how's it going? What about the sacred urn?
The urn? Oh, that. It's been taken care of already.
What do you mean, oh, that?
Taken care of? Do you mean it's been found?
Yes! It was brought in during the trial today.
Wow, really? You really are the greatest, Mr. Wright.
Mr. Wright had nothing to do with it. It was Master Mask's wife that found it.
Well, anyway, I'm so relieved.
All right. Damask's identity.
I just heard all about it on the news. So the detective was actually the thief all along.
It looks that way right now.
It's my fault. The one that ended up hiring Damask to guard the treasures.
Don't blame yourself. You were just doing your job.
Hey, Nick, if she wants to apologize, you should let her. So, when was it that you hired Detective Atmee again?
About 20 days ago.
And when was it that Master Mask's calling card arrived?
That was about 10 days ago.
So he sent a calling card to the very place he was hired to guard.
I guess that's it then. Detective Atmee must have really wanted the sacred urn after all.
I guess so.
What? So Master Mask murdered someone as well?
Well, that's how things look right now.
Yes, but I thought that he was here stealing the urn at the time.
Well, we're talking about a criminal mastermind, so anything's possible.
Nick, let's get down to business already. On the night of the theft, did you notice anything suspicious about Detective Atmee?
No, I couldn't have. After all, he was hidden the entire time. I never even caught a glimpse of him.
He claims that he claims that the way he always operates.
That's just what he says so he can have an alibi when he commits theft himself.
Yeah, he was caught in the crime scene photo dressed up as Master Mask pretty well.
So glad you got the sacred urn back.
Yes, but there's still something that bothers me about it.
What is it?
I'm not exactly sure. But somehow, that urn came back. The urn that came back seems different.
Really?
You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Miss Andrews?
No! I don't know anything! Why would I?
What? Adrian? Cyclops?
What do you think this means, Nick?
It means the person that holds the secret of the mystery of the sacred urn is our very own Miss Andrews. Do we have the evidence?
So it's saying... No, we do not. It's saying go to the detention center. We need to talk to Ron first.
Okay. Oh, I guess I go to the Wright & Co. There we go.
Oh, Mr. Light! Mr. Delight! Did they finish their interrogation? Yes, but please don't leave me alone anymore!
Mr.
You need to
Delight.
put on Nisa!
Mr. Delight, you lied to us before, didn't you?
Well, you see...
On the same night the sacred urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor department store, a blackmail letter you got summoned you to KB Security to hand over some money. And then that's where the CEO, Kane Bullard, was murdered. But there's only one Ron Delight, am I right? So the only question is, where were you that night? This time, I want to hear the whole truth. Your life depends on it.
Okay.
Mr. Delight, do you still insist that you are Master Mask?
Isn't that what I've been saying since yesterday? That was a quick response.
Tell me about it. To be honest, it's starting to get irritating.
But listen, Mr. Delight. At the trial today, we learned the true identity of the thief, didn't we?
Look, everyone! Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one myself! Here I am! The tragic clown!
I guess it's true. I wasn't the one who stole that urn. Of course not. After all, you were at KB Security at the time. So the person dressed up as Master Mask in this photo, it's gotta be Detective Atmee.
So that night, you didn't go to Lordly Taylor. You went to KB Security, right?
Yes, I went to KB Security at the time the blackmail note said I should. All right, what happened next? Well, I used to work there, so I knew where the CEO's office was. I knocked, but there was no answer. So then I used the keycard to unlock the door.
It's probably when he dropped his wallet.
When I went into the CEO's office, someone was in there.
Someone? What?
Whoa.
Atmee? It can't be.
Then suddenly they bashed me over the head. Bam! Was it Kane Bullard that hit you? I don't know. The person ran away while I was still stunned. When I came to my senses, the sight I saw left me speechless.
Oh my god!
The dead body of the CEO was right in front of me. I thought I'd die myself. Anyway,
I can't take it seriously.
This is literally like, this looks like the aftermath of a gag. Like, oh, tell my wife she's a bitch.
like Cartoon Network, like it's a cartoon deaf,
Exactly.
quote unquote deaf.
anyway, I thought I should do something with the body.
So that's why you put it in the safe?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, you idiot.
You, my god, what is...
We defend idiots.
He's fucked. He's fucked. They're gonna find his fingerprints on that body. He's fucked.
I used to be the chief of the security terms, I used to be the chief of one of the security teams, so I knew how to open it. Okay, and what did you do after that? Well, I got out of there for starters. I was the one who set up the security cameras in that building. So I knew how to avoid being spotted by them.
You didn't really have to dodge them too much because Larry was being just
A
he was
dumbass.
being punched in the face.
Nick? All of a sudden, Mr. Delight sounds like the murderer to me.
Please don't say that. Okay, why were you fired?
Mr. Delight, is it true that 1 year ago, you were forced to quit KB Security? How did you... I'm begging you, please don't tell Tessie! Please! Don't worry, we haven't told anyone yet. Oh, thank goodness. No, but I suppose I'll have to tell her sometime. She'll find out eventually. Why have you been hiding it from her anyway? Tessie would despise me if she ever found out I was living a life of crime. A criminal, a thief. She'd never forgive me. My marriage would be over. Knowing that, why did you become a thief in the first place? Because Tessie spends money like it's water. There's no job in the world that could bring in enough money. Except being a thief. At least that's what I thought anyway.
So he became Master Mask for Desi, huh? Or for Desiree. Jesus
Present the
Christ.
newspaper clipping.
What's in this newspaper clipping anyway? We haven't looked at it. Oh, yes, we
Yeah,
have.
we did. Mm-hmm.
Hey! This is an article about my debut heist! Boy, that was a tough one. Before I knew it, they were hot on my trail. But Master Mask, He must have gotten away, right? It says in the article that he disappeared. That's right! I got a sudden burst of inspiration. I hid my Master Mask costume in a nearby plastic bucket. And I quickly changed into my security guard uniform. Pretty clever, eh?
Wow, awesome. Hey, hold the phone. The card in this photo. Is that you, Mr. Delight?
That's right. Nice trick if I do say so myself.
Nice and easy to figure out. Even Pearls can see through that in a heartbeat. Alright.
Alright. It's confirmed.
But as you might expect, Detective Atmee found the disguise. He truly deserves the title of Ace Detective.
Detective Atmee found the Master Mask disguise. Interesting. So then he used that to play hero.
Maybe.
Yes, and I heard that he brought it home with him.
So that's it. That's when Atmee got his hands on this.
Thanks to that, I got the chance to remake my costume.
That must have been really time-consuming, huh?
Yes, it took quite a while to complete. Anyway, a few days after that, I received the first blackmail letters.
Blackmail letters?
You got them starting when? Tell me more now.
Hey, calm down! Don't get so worked up!
Alright, there's a new topic to talk about.
Oh dear.
This blackmail letter is the first one you got?
No, of course not. But this is the first one that ever called me out to a specific location.
So did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident?
Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Emanon heist. That first letter, it said, I know you did it. So someone found out about your true identity? Just like that? It's not easy being a master thief, you know. I've got proof it was you, so give up, it went on to say. And so in the end, I had to give up all the treasures I went through, all the trouble to steal.
Is that right? Hey, hang on a sec. What do you mean you had to give it up?
Oh, don't worry. After I put the jewel in the safe deposit, box letter... After I put the jewel in the safe deposit box the letters specified, someone sent me $10,000.
He doesn't have the artifacts anymore.
No one said anything about me being worried. No one said anything about me being worried, you know.
After that, I started getting the plans in the mail.
Plans?
Heist plans.
What are these plans you're talking about?
They were instructions on how to steal a crown, or painting, or some other rare treasures. They showed security blind spots, escape routes, and even suggested training methods.
So this Kane bastard was using his talents as Ron's talents as a thief. But we gotta find those frickin'...
Why would he... Although his company, though, was on the hook.
Wait a minute. Did Atmee only ever get the jar back, or did he get other artifacts back?
Yeah, I don't think Kane was in this, because remember, Kane's company was in charge of these, like the protection.
Okay.
So you mean the one who planned the heist wasn't you? No, it wasn't me. I only planned the very first one. After that, I received plans from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans.
It sounds like Mr. Delight is thankful to the person who was blackmailing him.
So Ron Delight was Master Mask after all? But someone else is behind the thefts. Someone who planned them all out in detail.
All I had to do was deposit the treasures I stole into the safe deposit box. Then I just waited for the cash to come in the mail.
Could you try not to look so gleeful about it?
So you went after the sacred urn because of those plans too? Well, see, the truth is, I've never seen the urn. All I did was follow the instructions and steal what I was told to steal.
Mr. Delight, is everything you've just told me the truth?
Yes, but please don't tell Desi, okay?
From Master Mass second heist on, he was stealing as directed by blackmail letters. Ron, before we go, there's one more thing I want to ask you.
Yes, but please don't hurt me.
Mr. Kane Bullard, do you swear it wasn't you who killed him?
Yes, of course! I could never! I'm not lying! All I did was hide the body in the safe. But then, I was afraid they'd discover what I did, so I turned myself in yesterday. Why? Well, if the judge had ruled that I was guilty of robbery, then I'd have an alibi, right? I guess so. You're really clever, Mr. Delight.
I guess I have no choice but to take Mr. Delight at his word.
You would think Phoenix would be way more careful when he asked that question. You know, like, you had nothing to do with that, Kate. Remember he said the same thing with, crap, I forgot his name, but the movie star guy?
On guard?
Was it
Matt
On
On
Guard?
Guard?
Yeah, it was On Guard. He said, you didn't kill him, right? He's like, no, I didn't. Which was the truth.
Yeah.
You would think it would be better with asking, like, kind of more broad questions like that. I don't know.
Well, he did. Didn't he just say you had nothing to do with his death?
No, he just said you didn't kill.
I think that's the best we can go for, honestly. Anyway, it looks like Pearls is back.
Mystic Maya! Hey! Pearly! I'm back!
Hey, Pearls! So what have you been up to this whole time?
The sacred urn, Mr. Nick. I took it back to Karain Village to have it examined. And what'd you find out? Well, there's no need to worry. They said it's the real urn. Huh! That's a relief. I was really worried. But there's one small problem. Problem? These cute little pink splotches. They said it's paint, and that they were put on the urn recently.
Why are we talking about the pink splotches again? What's the big deal?
What's the big deal? We gotta find out how they got there. That's the big deal. Yes, Mr. Nick, we gotta find out how they got there.
Okay. Go find out how they got there.
Please don't forget about me.
He's like, oh no.
Alright, so
All right,
now...
back to the basement. Where else?
That was gonna be my first guess. Not here. Right, the exhibit hall.
Oh, Pearls. How nice to see you.
Hello there.
General Kenobi. I haven't seen you around lately. What have you been up to?
Well, actually, I was having this urn examined.
I see.
Maybe if we take another good look at this urn, we can figure out the mystery of what actually happened here.
Nick, let's go look around one more time.
Right? Obviously the box has something to do with it. This box. There's something around it that bothers me.
That's the box the sacred urn was in. It looks like there's some pink paint on it, too.
Pink Panther's been in here. He's been touching crap.
And it's definitely the same color as the stuff on the urn.
I think I know how the paint got on it now.
Oh, right! Let's investigate again, Nick!
Right, urn box. A wooden box that had a sacred urn in it. Has pink paint stains on it.
All right, so pan to the right.
It looks to me like it's been dry for several days.
There's something suspicious about this paint mark. The bottom left of it is shaped oddly, and it's shocking pink.
Mr. Nick, could it be that this odd shape is...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it.
Ah! The box the sacred urn was in!
If you look here, there's a little bit of paint on the box as well.
Wow, you're right! Look, it matches! What is it, Mr. Nick?
This is all turning out exactly as I thought it would. I think it's all starting to become clear. We're that much closer to solving the mystery of what happened to the urn.
All right, let's talk to Andrews.
Miss Andrews, do you know anything about the sacred urn?
Do I know anything? I'm in charge of the entire treasure exhibit.
That urn was submitted before the court today. It's obviously not the same urn as before.
Well, that's true. Maybe it wasn't the same. It could be a fake.
A fake?
You're the one who said it wasn't the same, so that's the most obvious explanation. Do you have any evidence that the urn submitted at the trial was genuine?
I guess the urn itself. Sorry to break it to you, but the urn is the genuine article. Pearls went back to Karain Village and had it examined.
Is that right? That's nice, but I don't see how...
What she discovered was that the urn had been broken. Again.
Did you say again?
Yes, it was broken once a year ago. Now it looks like the same thing happened. And quite recently, too.
Recently? Are you saying that this urn was broken recently?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Why do you think it's been broken recently? How do you know?
I could guess just, present the urn again.
No.
The box?
Take a look at the poster, the treasure exhibit poster.
Oh, okay, that would make sense. If I can find it. Yeah, there we go.
It says I am there.
This poster was made recently, right?
Poster? Ah, the poster for the exhibit.
At the time this photo was taken, the urn said, I am on it. But now, for some mysterious reason, it says, Atmee. When the urn was fixed, the letters were transposed.
I am? What does that even mean? I don't know anything about that. I wasn't even there when the photo for this poster was taken.
That was a mistake. Now, tell the truth.
What? Wait.
4.
The urn was broken. I had nothing to do with it. Yes, that's it. Must have been one of the people for the photo shoot. They probably dropped it. I'm sure that's what happened.
It looks like she's not going to give up that last Cyclops so easily.
You have any proof that the urn was broken here at Lordly Taylor?
The paint on the box, obviously.
Yep.
Or, well, it technically could
No,
be even
the
one of
paint
these.
marks.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was in the basement itself.
Well, Miss Andrews?
What is this supposed to mean?
There's pink paint all over this urn.
Yeah.
And there's pink paint all over the floor and the walls of this basement warehouse. In other words, this urn was broken here. You can't weasel out of this one, Miss Andrews.
What?
Uh-oh. She's trying to make her escape.
But you could get pink paint anywhere.
Well, there's none in my office, that's for sure.
Well, there is in my room.
Liar!
Anyway, the paint on the urn and the paint on the floor. There's no proof that it's the same paint.
Come on, this is getting ridiculous. The proof linking the paint on the urn to the paint on the
Now
floor.
it's the box.
Okay. This box. The urn was stored in this, right?
Yes, that's right.
Well, there's pink paint on the box as well.
Ah,
I think you already know where I'm going with this, don't you?
yes, more or less.
The paint on the floor has an odd shape imprinted on it, doesn't it?
Yes.
If you put this box into the impression in the paint, you can see it fits perfectly.
Yeah.
Which means this box was dropped right over there. And that is when the urn was broken.
Your name does you justice, Mr. Wright. All right. I'm so sorry. I was the one who broke the urn.
Boy, does this make me feel like some sort of evil school teacher.
I'm a terrible person. Not only did I break it, I tried to hide what I did.
Well, that's not so hard to understand, is it, Pearly?
The person was like, I have no clue what you're talking about.
No, not at all. I know just how she feels.
Happened about 2 weeks ago. Just after the poster photo was taken, the same day the urn arrived here. I thought I put it away down here for safekeeping. I was carrying it in the box.
Oh dear.
What? Why is this music the one they choose? Like, oh, she tripped on some paint.
She's just being clumsy.
When I tripped on the paint can, I lost balance. The box I was carrying crashed to the ground.
Oh.
I heard a terrible noise, and I thought my heart was going to stop. Fearing the worst, I opened the lid of the box, and that's when it happened. Oh, Lord.
Oh.
The broken pieces of the urn fell out of the box and landed right on the paint. I was in shock. And then a huge scream.
I can totally see how that could have happened.
Yeah, as clumsy as she is, I'm sure Maya understands.
Well, I knew it was the most important treasure in the whole of Kiran village. So I tried as hard as I could to fix it. Fortunately, the shards were pretty big.
And that's when I Am got changed to Atmee.
I didn't know how it was originally written. But any sane person fixing it would have assumed it said Atmee.
Any sane person? Really?
You're not sane, Pearls.
Oh, Pearls. She said she wasn't very good at spelling.
Aww. Anyway, I put the urn into the storeroom, and no one else seen it since then.
Sacred urn updated in the court record. Broken and repaired by Adrian 2 weeks ago, then replaced in its box, kept out of sight.
But there's something I don't get. When we first came here, I didn't see any paint stains.
Well, that's because it was so ugly and embarrassing. I used the golden statue to cover it.
The Atmee face statue. Aha! first time we came down here. It was on the night that the sacred urn was stolen.
But Mr. Nick, there was no paint marks on the wall or floor of the warehouse when we were here.
Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall.
And?
I realized the statue would be the perfect size to cover up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it.
I see. Now it makes perfect sense. But there's still one thing I find strange.
What is it, Pearl?
The day after the urn was stolen, we came here again. At the time, the statue had been moved, and the paint was clearly visible.
She's right about that. Well, Miss Andrews?
Huh? What? I don't know anything about that. I placed it there to cover the paint. So why would I move it again?
Well, then who was it? Who would have done it and why?
On the day before the theft, the statue was definitely closer to the door. And the next day it was moved. But why? Did it have its sword in the hand? Could have been
Originally, I
moved by
think
accident
so.
when someone ripped out the sword. It looks like there's some connection between the sacred urn and the murder case.
Why? Why do you think so, Nick?
Because that night, the real thief, Ron DeLight, was at KB Security. So then why did another masked show up here? A lot of different things are pointing to one undeniable fact.
One undeniable fact?
The murder trial is starting tomorrow, but it looks like that thief is going to be making another appearance.
Interesting. It's trial time.
Oh boy.
I'm going to.
Me. I gotta
I'll
get my
be
judge
right
voice
back.
ready.
I'm going to be right back.
Okay. I might actually run. I will be back momentarily myself. I have returned. Oh, are we doing Dancing Miku GIF? Yes. Here we go. Let me join in on that. All right. We are still waiting for Zeke. So, how's everyone's day doing? Having a good weekend? Did we really spend 20 hours on... No, that can't be right. We've only played this game for like 2 streams. How could it be 18? What? Pretty good. Celebrating my brother's birthday since we couldn't yesterday. Oh, well, happy birthday to your brother. Just had hot dogs, corn, and ribs Texan style. Nice. Oh, it's what time your last save was? Oh. Next week is finals and my last week of school. Nice. Are you graduating or? Next week. Oh, wait.
All right. Sorry about that. I just had to get some more Tylenol.
All right then. Are you feeling better? You good?
Yeah, I just felt the headache coming back just a tad bit, but I was like, you know what? I just need some Tylenol.
Well, I hope it stays away. It's Godot time.
It's Godot time.
Hey, Nick!
What is it this time?
You won't believe how many people are here for the trial!
Well, it is a murder case.
What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door!
Next door?
Why, don't you know this, Nick? They're having Detective Atmee's trial today.
Detective Atmee?
They say they're going to try him as mask to mask.
Already? That was fast.
Boy, I'd love to see mask to mask's trial.
I know.
By the way,
Oh,
where's...
it's Ron.
Oh, you sure? I could have sworn it would
Yeah,
have been Godot.
I'm pretty sure it's Ron.
By the way, where's Pearls?
Oh, she went back home. She said she can't neglect her training anymore. I know you don't like me.
Pearls really has gotten into her training lately, huh?
Yeah, ever since that incident last year.
Please don't ignore me!
Oh, Mr. Delight! Good morning.
No one likes me. No one would notice me even if I killed someone.
Come on, don't be silly.
Wait a sec. You don't mean you're the murderer? No! I'm just a poor thief! No, wait, that's not right. A thief can't really be poor. Now let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending to him to help him commit the heists.
Do you really think there's a connection between the thief and the murder, Nick?
It's possible. But today's trial is a race against the clock.
Huh? How come? Let's just take our time, like always.
I'm afraid that's not an option.
Oh, I think I know what he's talking about.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Coffee sounds and coffee machine sounds intensifies. You're ready. Preparations is the last refuge of the weak.
Okay, settle down, everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Godot.
The judge is like, please don't start this shit already. It's way too early for this.
Ugh, he's got the judge in the palm of his hand. Yet again.
Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all.
I'm afraid I have no idea what you mean, Mr. Godot.
Then you need to get out more, Your Honor. Life is war, but that is exactly why you must be more precise with your wording. That's all my statement means. You understand now, right?
Yes. Well then, let me briefly summarize the details of this case.
Wow. Judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for change.
The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in a safe approximately 9 a.m. on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 a.m. previous day.
That's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant.
Very well then. Mr. Godot, please call your first witness.
I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. But the first one is always the best.
Mr. Godot, your witness.
My cup of coffee, Your Honor. That is my first witness. Okay then. Let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, has to say for himself.
The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? It may be a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but...
I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then.
But that's not something we should do here. Not with this guy.
Oh boy, Phoenix. We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delight to testify.
You got guts, trite.
All right then. Mr. Ron Delight, please take the stand.
You did it, didn't you?
Yes.
What? No. That's not true.
Shortest court case in history.
For a moment there, I thought we'd set the record for the shortest trial ever.
Well, Mr. Delight already looks plenty guilty with that face he's making.
And once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin.
Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security?
Well, that's kind of hard to say. Boy, I wish I could go home.
Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened.
Oh boy.
That evening around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard at his office at KP Security. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. I'd been working for KP Security until about a year ago, so I knew where his office was.
1 a.m., the exact time the murder took place.
We get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. It's bitter today, too. Just like my destiny.
You'd never know that from the way he's chugging it down.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please.
All right.
Hold it!
1 a.m., huh? You're absolutely sure about that?
Yes, that's what my watch said when I was entering the CEO's office. No. Actually, I'm not really sure. My watch was slow, and my internal clock was also a bit...
1 a.m. That's the exact time the victim, Mr. Bullard, was murdered, correct?
Too late for a coffee date, that's for sure.
Too late or too early? The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. It ordered you to go there.
It was the first time I'd gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere.
Does that mean you've gotten other blackmail letters then?
Oh, of course. They'd say things like, steal this or take that.
Why don't you save that for later, Mr. Delight? Please don't say anything more.
Now, what should I do?
Press harder.
So what did the blackmail letter say in this?
It said to bring $50,000.
Money, eh? A perfect motive for committing murder.
Oh, but wait! I never intended to pay the money anyway.
Oh, is that right?
After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of.
An important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
A muddy mud skipper in outer space has better chance of surviving than I do. Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway?
The blackmail letter said, if you don't want your identity revealed, correct?
I'm sure it was referring to the whole master mask thing. But I wasn't worried. Mr. Bullard didn't have anything on me.
He didn't.
Anyway, I don't care what anyone says about me. Just as long as Desi believes in me.
So that's why Mr. Delight didn't believe he was... So that's why Miss Delight didn't believe he was Master Mask.
That's why I knew they were just hollow threats.
I had been working for KB Security until about a year ago, so I knew...
Press.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking about that previous statement. I'll just keep it in the back of my head for now. You used to be a security chief for KB Security, right?
Yes, that's right.
A security chief. You?
Yet, a year ago, you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge? A perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say?
This isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject. Life after being fired. Why was he fired? Yeah, I don't think we ever got an answer to this.
Nope.
Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job.
Well,
the world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never asked that.
Okay, then I take it back.
Defendant, please answer the question.
I needed money.
You needed money?
Well, you see, Desi loves to spend it. It's kind of her hobby.
Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick?
My salary wasn't nearly enough. So I stole data from the company.
Come again?
Oh no.
Oh, fuck.
Oh no!
KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of other companies. And since I was a security team chief,
You stole some data and sold it.
Mr. Bullard found out, and I was fired immediately.
What?
I wish I never asked that. I was somehow able to keep it secret and made it seem like I had quit on my own.
What is it, Nick? You don't look so good.
Who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You do well to remember that.
He sure told you.
So you admit that you stole data from your company. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm sorry.
This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony.
Oh man, this whole thing just took a big turn for the worse. Crash, and then blew up! It's gonna take Jaws of Life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster. Desi doesn't know.
Okay, there we go.
Why would you do something like that?
Well, for Desi's hobby. What else?
Wasting money, huh?
It's not a waste!
So
Miss Delight doesn't know that her husband was fired, does she?
So it would seem.
I'm not sure what to think about couples who keep secrets like that from each other.
I can't believe it. This case has gotten even Maya to think seriously about couples.
Please try to stay focused, Mr. Wright.
There wasn't much to his testimony, was there?
Sounds like he's avoiding something. At least, that's what it sounds like to me.
Uh-oh. I've got a bad feeling about this. We'd better be careful.
But if we don't find a way to make him spill the beans, we'll never get closer to the truth.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's check our court record. We got about 3 sections of things to work with, so quite a bit.
This is a pretty tough one.
Okay. Let's just see. Okay, so we got neither of these work. Yeah, I don't think that really means anything. I feel like this entire first page, maybe save for the blackmail letter and the wallet. You know what? I want to take a look at Kane's list. No, this isn't the right time to show that. That evening, I was...
Okay, that statement right there.
This one?
Where he said the blackmail didn't scare him. That is a lie. There is someone he is afraid of to figure out, like, you know how he said he's not afraid that...
Oh, of course! His wife! Oh, no, she's right there. Mr. Delight, what you said just now doesn't match with what you told me yesterday.
Huh? What doesn't?
I think you must have been scared. Very scared. Of having a certain person find out your secret.
A certain person.
Miss Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife.
Ah! But I... Listen to me! My Desi! She's...
It's like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins.
Doe.
Yes, we know. It was all your wife's fault.
What do you mean?
Miss Delight stole company data to pay for... Oh, Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habits, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about.
Oh.
No! Everything is falling neatly into place for him! Don't talk about my Desi like that! Oh, you'll be sorry!
You just threatened a prosecutor in a courtroom?
Oh my god! Look, I know we've had a lot of close calls in the past, but this is one time where I legit see us losing this case.
Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far.
What do you think, Nick?
I don't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes.
Clearly, there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife, and he killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much.
The motive is clear. Let's move on. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We're all ears.
Oh boy.
When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed.
That?
When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there, dead.
I see. Suddenly hit on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided a similar testimony. He said that Master Mask struck him on the head from behind.
Of course, since Atmee turned out to be the culprit himself, that was a lie.
No one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that.
What are you saying? I really was attacked.
We'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination.
Got that, Mr. Trites? Don't go easy just because he's your client.
You have such a grudge against Phoenix that you can't get his name right.
No, he's doing that on purpose.
I'd like to believe he's just kind of stupid and doesn't realize who he's, angry at.
He has no clue what's going on. He's like, oh, wait, you're not Jeffrey Trites. I'm terribly sorry about that. If I see any signs you are, I'll treat you with another blend of my another cup of my special blend.
You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godot. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. Good luck, Phoenix. There was one statement I think is really important, so... Enter the office, there was a suspicious shadow, suddenly I was hit on the head. Okay, this is what I think we need more information of. That? Could you please clarify what you're referring to?
Why, my Master Mask costume, of course.
Wait just a moment. Mask the mask?
Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as Master Mask. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security.
What?
Nick, did you know about this? He never told me.
I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either.
I didn't know that.
Damn, even Godot.
It seems our little friend really loves to keep secrets.
I'm sorry. I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Wait, that's not right. You know how sometimes things just slip your mind?
My sixth cup of coffee is staring up at me coldly.
At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony.
I'd have been killed if I hadn't been wearing my Master Mask costume. Why were you dressed up as Master Mask?
Why? Because I am Master Mask, of course.
What are you talking about? Master Mask trial is being held next door.
Yes, I guess so. Anyway, at the time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Master Mask issue. So I thought I should go as him, just to be safe.
Oh boy.
Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape.
I love how the judge is like, there's no possible way you could be Master Mask, and Ron's just like, oh, anyway, I went in as Master Mask.
That's why it took a lot longer than I had expected.
Took a lot longer? What is he talking about? Press harder. What do you mean by took a lot longer?
Oh, opening the safe, of course. My cape got caught on the safe door, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullard's body.
What was that? Back up a second.
Yes?
You were the one that hid the body in the safe?
Well, yeah.
Inconceivable! Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking?
Judge is losing it. Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine?
What?
The answer is simple. When they take them off.
As usual, I have no idea what you're saying.
Do you mean that Mr. Delight hid the body because he's the murderer?
You're not as stupid as you look.
His metaphor this time was really obscure.
Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you?
Well, yes.
Why am I the only one not in the loop here? Witness! Make sure you add this to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh. Looks like a storm front is moving on over the fair-weather judge.
The judge is pissed.
God, this is like... Holy crap, this trial, like, every time we do something, our position gets worse.
Something about that statement's weird.
Huh? I panicked and hid the body in the safe. Took about 10 minutes.
Let's look at our court record.
Okay.
Think about it for a second.
Okay, thinking.
What's in the CEO's office?
Well, the buzzer.
And is there a way to prove if the buzzer went off anytime at 1 o'clock?
Oh, Larry. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we present the buzzer, and then when they ask, we say buzzer record. Got it.
Objection!
Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record?
And what might this be?
The record for the emergency buzzer that connects to the CEO's office to security. If the button in the security office is pressed, a security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 a.m.
What?
If Mr. Ron Delight truly was the murderer, then he would have ran as soon as that buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been heading his way.
Objection!
Let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea there were security personnel in the building.
Objection!
Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as a chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them.
Objection!
It turned out the guard never came.
That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser who had just gotten punched in the face by his new boyfriend, and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. Delight could have known.
Objection!
Again, remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. Delight didn't even notice the buzzer going off.
Objection!
The buzzer is extremely loud. There's no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is.
Conscious? What do you mean by that?
Let's hear your theory.
Recall the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes.
Unconscious? So he fainted?
That's why Mr. Delight didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. And that's why he thought he had the time to hide the body.
What are you trying to say?
Mr. Delight was knocked out, and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right.
Whoever it was, they knocked out Ron Delight, then pressed the buzzer. Holy shit, Larry's stupidity actually saved us. Order in the court! Mr. Wright! This is...
Objection!
This is preposterous. It was this kid, Ron Delight, and Ron Delight is the one who killed Kane Bullard.
Objection!
Then who pressed the buzzer?
It was the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push that button. Ah!
So Kane Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. What is your opinion on this, Mr. Wright?
I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene. But how? Can I prove it wasn't Kane Bullard who sounded the buzzer? Oh yeah, we can! There were no fingerprints!
Yep.
The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. The piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. We just need to find the one that says, all right, there are no fingerprints on it. I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence you were looking for.
The emergency buzzer. Is there some kind of clue on it?
Absolutely not.
Hey, come on now. At least give some thought on to what you say before opening your mouth.
The fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue.
Now I'm the one who's clueless.
The button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullard had pressed it himself, naturally he would have left fingerprints behind.
Objection!
Ron Delight obviously wiped them off.
Why would he? A guard could have come in at any moment.
He touched that button. I know he did.
Then defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Master Mask. And Master Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have to wipe the button free of fingerprints?
Order, order, order!
It would seem. I've been forced to eat crow.
Eat crow? I wonder what blend number crow flavored coffee is.
However, if the real killer was there at the scene, then why would that person press the emergency buzzer? Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extreme danger? What's with this awkward silence all of a sudden?
Looks like you're fresh out of parlor tricks.
They're on to you, Nick!
Nick, come on, I've already figured it out. I know exactly what they're going to say.
Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts!
The real culprit killed Mr. Bullard at around 1 a.m. And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right? The killer clobbered Mr. Delight and the sound of the buzzer.
Even though the security was supposed to respond right away, if the buzzer was pressed...
Security was supposed to respond.
Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say.
Very well, then.
Oh, you got some guts. I like that in an opponent.
Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer?
They didn't mean to call a security guard, find out
I know what it did.
Where's the option to frame Rhonda Light?
You call the security. That's
Oh,
the frame.
okay, yeah, that's it.
The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted.
Do you mean to say the killer called the guard on purpose?
Yes. Although, as it turned out, he never showed up.
Because he was getting clocked clean at the time.
Larry's patheticness saved us, holy crap.
What a touching story. You're saying the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in?
No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Kane Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ron Delight, who was out cold. And the third person, the real killer.
Hypothetically, yes.
Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Ron Delight.
And if the security guards came running in at the time, they would think that I was the murderer.
Yes, that was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Ron Delight for the murder.
Order! Order! Order!
It would seem. I've been made to eat my words once again.
Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee.
Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Wait a second. I'm the one and only Master Mask, so...
Nick, you mean the real killer is...
We're going to drag that person in here right now.
But who is it?
I don't have any solid proof yet, but think about it. The killer knew Mr. Delight's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KB security that night. So the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Kane Bullard.
Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. Ron Delight for the murder of Kane Bullard?
Luke Atmee. It has to be him.
For having a stupid-ass name.
Detective Luke Atmee. He's the one who could have done it.
He's detective.
Luke Atmee?
You mean Master Mask did it?
It's like, damn it, Judge, he's not Master Mask.
Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Master Mask at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Kane Bullard.
Order! Order! Mr. Wright, explain yourself!
Theft and murder. Which is a more serious crime?
They're not even close. Murder is the more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to a capital punishment.
Please remember the trial from yesterday, if you would. When Luke Atmee confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom.
Of course. A famous detective was unmasked as Master Mask.
Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along.
To be found guilty?
Master Mask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Lordly Taylor.
In other words, being found guilty as Master Mask was Luke Atmee's airtight, watertight, and unsealable alibi. A guilty verdict as an alibi.
Everyone's just playing 4D chess here. You know, it's almost time
For what?
for Luke Atmee's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial, after all. If we're going to stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course. That's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder.
Mr. Luke Atmee's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If we intrude and fail to provide adequate proof of his true crime, Mr. Delight would be left with no grounds for appeal. Am I really sure about this?
A bet's only good when your life's at the ante.
Mr. Wright, I believe in you.
Mr. Delight.
So please, I'm begging you.
Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this? Mia,
Phoenix.
what was that?
Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust.
That voice. It sounds like... Mia!
Your Honor! The defense requests an immediate recess.
So that's your answer, huh?
Very well. I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke Atmee to the stand.
Yes, Your Honor.
Holy wow.
Courtroom number 5.
Oh.
Well, Sir Detective Atmee. I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly. Oh no, Sir Detective Atmee. You were the one who...
That's enough. Actually, you want to be this judge?
Sure. This court has no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendants, Luke Atmee. Oh, he's Canadian, that's right.
Who is?
That judge is Canadian.
Oh, wow. Wait! Don't hand down your verdict yet, please.
Well, Sir Lawyer, welcome to my courtroom. Who is this Hauser, eh?
My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law. And I wish to file an accusation against this man, Luke Atmee.
Accusation? You accuse Master Mask?
That man is not Master Mask. He's just a ruthless murderer.
What?
Ooh.
To be continued.
My ass, we're doing this now.
My sis?
I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice.
So then, she's still alive? Inside your heart?
Aww. Nicky boy!
Oh, Miss Delight.
Is it true that that detective is the real killer?
To be honest, we don't have any definitive proof. But he's the only one who could have done it.
But wasn't he at Lordy Taylor's that night?
Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atmee want to kill Kane Bullard?
Kane Bullard did work at the company at one time. Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. I need to find some solid proof. And it's gotta happen sooner rather than later. Oh boy. All right, men, here we go.
Now then, court is back in session. Mr. Luke Atmee, please take the stand.
Oh, well. How do you do, sir lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly.
I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. Not when it would have given you your perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Mask to Mask.
Sorry. I'm afraid even the great Luke Atmee has no idea what you mean. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could have known what you've been going on in here.
You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Mask to Mask.
Indeed. It's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me generous rewards upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example.
So you continue to insist that you are, in fact, Mask to Mask.
Of course!
Very well, Luke Atmee. Let us begin with this simple question. On October 12th at 1 a.m., Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at that time?
One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry! I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge!
Thanks.
All right, Mr. Atmee. The night of the murder. Speak. We're all ears. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. Was still in the urn as Mask to Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contained no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Mask to Mask was the same time as the murder.
It seems the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene.
Everything up until now was all part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well. Let's see. So we have... The statue was moved, obviously. We have... the box. We know the costume has some inaccuracies.
Even the great Mask to Mask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive.
Unfortunately, Mr. Atmee, we still have to do your cross-examination.
A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool.
Franziska von Karma wants to know your location.
I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick.
The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. All right. Just as I know. So this photograph is the proof, correct?
Indeed it is.
And the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask.
That is why I am called Mask to Mask.
But conveniently, that also means that there was no way to tell who this really is.
What do you mean?
Are you saying that this is not, in fact, Luke Atmee? That it could be an accomplice dressed up as Mask to Mask to create an alibi? Oh, what an interesting idea! Are you saying that I, Lone Wolf Luke, had an accomplice?
There's no way we can name an accomplice. I can only think of one possible theory, but it's insane. So I'm gonna give it up. If Luke Atmee was at KB Security during the murder, then Mask to Mask in this picture has to be a fake.
Then there really was an accomplice.
But right now, I have no idea who it was.
I don't have any idea right now either.
Baseless objections are just what the guy wants. There's got to be another way, and I'm going to find it. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point.
That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken.
You sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right?
Indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target.
I see. You truly are evil, aren't you?
Yes, evil is what I am.
Hey, Nick, is there something odd about this? Detective Atmee was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona.
You know, that's true. It is kind of odd. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here? Is that correct?
It? That is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime.
The very thing that proves you committed the crime. When you think about it, it's really odd. You say that almost as if you had this picture taken on purpose.
It was simply caught by the very camera that he had set up.
That's stupid. Nobody would...
We all have days like that. Indeed, it turned out that there were no such thing as the perfect crime after all. Life is truly an ironic thing. A sad, blue melody.
It looks like I better gather more information for now. If he truly is the killer, there's got to be something phony in that photo. The time at which the camera captured Mask to Mask was the same time as the murder. Well, let's double check. Let's see. 1 a.m. and the photo. Yeah, pretty much the same time. Okay, let's see.
Let's press this last statement. Let's see what happens.
All right. About the camera that took this photograph.
Oh, come now! It's all too clear what you're thinking.
Huh?
You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you? I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lordly Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lordly Taylor's staff that printed the picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered.
I see.
Looks like I better find something else that could be suspicious.
So this alibi is false?
Has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security.
But I'm not really spotting anything unusual.
There are two possibilities. Either the master mask in the photo is fake, or the photo itself is.
Okay, so this one's a little weird. Go back to the third. Okay, press the photograph contains no words. Press that again.
I was trying to think about Adrian Andrews' thing. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct?
It is! That it is! The very thing that proves I committed the crime.
The very thing that proves you committed the crime.
Okay. Sorry, it kind of slowed down for me for a second.
Oh.
Surely even you understand by now. Lily Taylor provided that camera. There's no way I could have tampered with it. That means I could not have killed Kane Bullard unless I had an accomplice.
Come on, think long and hard about last night. The basement warehouse, and this picture that supposedly captured it. It's gotta be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture? Okay, well, I guess you bet there is.
Implying that this picture is a fake?
You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night, before the thief took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night.
You remember what it is?
Let's see.
Very well. Let's hear what you have to say.
Can you give me a hint?
Something... We're seeing something we're not supposed to.
Okay. We're seeing... Seeing something we're not supposed to. Okay, well, we see mask to mask in the box, and... I think it has something to do with that paint.
Yes.
Really? Wait a
Yep.
minute. That box, it doesn't have any paint on it.
Well, it's more about the paint itself. Remember, Adrian Andrews covered that paint splotch to like hide what she was hiding what she
Oh,
had.
right. Was the statue moved back, or? I mean, it's a little hard to remember when exactly the statue was moved around, but I think I get what
basically, what happened was the statue was there the time of the crime.
Oh, okay.
And then Adrian Andrews said that right when it arrived was when she covered it. And now it was just missing. It was pushed back after the fact.
Interesting. The funny part is right here.
Why, this is a blood stain. Oh, blood. Now this case is getting interesting.
Not exactly. This stain is actually pink paint.
Oh, just paint. And peach colored at that.
From blood to peaches, the judge sure loves going on his wild tangents. The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse. It turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen.
Well, Mr. Wright, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint?
Ah, okay, the statue.
Yep.
The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following.
Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stain. That's why I put it where you first saw it.
I myself was there the night the theft took place, and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was taken on that night, that statue should have been there.
Objection!
When I went there the day after the theft, that statue was of the old bag was sitting in the corner.
Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally.
Your Honor, this statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would have taken more than an accidental push to move it that distance.
In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night?
Can you do it, Nick?
Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it?
Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one who moved the golden statue on the night of the crime?
On the night of the crime, who moved it? No, it couldn't have been Adrian. Perhaps the fake Master Mask?
No. It has to be Atmee.
Really?
Because you gotta remember the statue's whereabouts.
Yeah, but if I say this, then that just means he wasn't at the office and he couldn't have committed the murder.
You gotta think about it. We gotta think either the picture itself is fake, or the person in the picture is fake. We gotta think outside the box. He could have framed this picture. Came in at an earlier date to get this picture.
I suppose that's true. The one who moved the statue is none other than Luke Atmee.
Now, sir lawyer, there you go again on one of your strange delusions.
Mr. Wright, what basis do you have your... What basis do you have for your strange delusions?
It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night.
Indeed, really simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue?
The reason for moving the golden statue, here's where our battle really begins.
Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move the statue?
The reason can be found here in this photograph. Luke Atmee, you pretended to be Master Mask to create an alibi showing that you were at Lordly Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like a cheap film at a drugstore. That is why you had to move the statue.
A single fatal flaw?
Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does the lie exist?
Okay, I got nothing. My brain just decided, now's a good time to get exhausted.
So, we're saying he has a lie.
Okay.
He had to move that So, remember what I was saying? He had to. Okay, so what do we know? We know Luke was at the CEO's office.
Okay, yes.
So it was impossible for him to be at Lordly Taylor.
Okay, so then the lie must be in the timestamp.
Yes.
But we have no way to prove that, do we? Well, I guess we'll run with it.
Take that!
Naturally, the lie in this photo is the timestamp.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Luke Atmee went to KB Security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to be at Lordly Taylor at this time.
But what does that have to do with the statue being moved?
Remember if you will, Your Honor. When was the statue placed beside the warehouse door?
Well,
Statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime. And it was placed there in order to cover up the paint.
Exactly. Luke Atmee had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim. And so, in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place.
What the?
Of course, the statue hadn't been brought down to the basement warehouse yet.
ah,
So on the day of the crime, Mr. Atmee must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down in place where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke Atmee had moved the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make room. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in this photo.
You get it now? He moved it after the fact so everything would match.
Right.
order, order! Mr. Atmee, is this true?
One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this?
What's that?
The data for the basement warehouse computer! According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime.
It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. That alone would have been that alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data.
Order! Order! Mr. Godot, what is the meaning of this?
Just sitting there enjoying his coffee.
Godot, I warned you about making me wait. Now put down the coffee.
My 11th cup. I promise to drink no more than 17 during a trial. Which means I'm still good to the last drop.
However, the defense has a very good point.
A good point. So what? We are all but travelers on the road to infinite points.
Oh my god. I think he's got his points mixed. I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points.
Will you say this photograph was taken ahead of time? And that the statue was moved in order to make it match? That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that that cannot be denied.
Which is?
That's number 12. That it's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams.
That's very true.
No way! Don't fall for that, Your Honor!
Hey, Mr. Damask. Yes? Is there no funny business in your actions as Mask Damask? There should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it.
Yes. Please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the sacred urn.
Oh, this ought to be good.
I first received the request from Lorley Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box, and Zerari! It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th.
That's pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it?
Yeah. But we'll find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave.
Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time?
Sorry!
Very well then. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
You think you got him?
I got him. Where are you? Oh, wait, it doesn't have the description that, well, there was
Let's look at the calling card real quick.
calling card. I will be coming to purloin the most priceless work of art on display, your Treasure of Kurain exhibit. Take good care of the speckled urn, won't you? Valuable treasure. Where's the thing that says the urn's not worth shit?
You're on the right path.
Okay, okay.
The calling card just called the urn speckled.
What? Oh yeah, it did. Where's that calling card? Ah, there it is. Okay. Well, it's speckled.
When was the vase speckled?
I don't remember them ever saying it was speckled.
They never said it in this testimony. However, Adrian Andrews dropped the vase
Oh.
way before that calling card should have existed.
Okay.
So let's go back to when he said he sent his calling card.
Okay. Hey, come on, I pushed back, guys. Quiet, both of you. Okay, I first received from the Lorley Taylor 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box, and then it was sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. Ah.
There you go. To be fair, you could have presented that on statement 2, 3, 4, or 6.
Huh. Mr. Atmee, if you really are Mask to Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct?
Of course. Is there a problem? Is there a problem with the calling card?
Allow me to read a passage from the calling card when that Mask to Mask had written.
Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckle here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn.
Yes, that is true. But so what?
Truth be told, there's no way that Master Mask could have known about that pattern.
What do you mean?
This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains.
Paint stains?
And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor.
I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite.
The day the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say, an error-prone human. And that's where the pink paint got on the urn.
You can't be serious.
And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atmee had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. And because this photo is fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water.
Looks like we got him.
Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself?
All right, that did it. He's broken.
Nick? I think it's still a little early for a victory pose.
Huh?
Uh-oh. Godot's not losing it.
It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days.
Conviction, you say?
Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Mask to Mask. And now we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle?
That's a good point.
No way! Don't fall for that too, Your Honor!
You say that Luke Atmee was the one who killed Kane Bullard? Then let me ask you this. Why would he do that? An excellent point! Motive, Mr. Wright, motive! Might you, my murderous motive manifest? Too many
Nick!
frickin' M's.
What?
Too many M's.
Nick! He's getting his second wind!
If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron Delight, as you say, he must have a very strong motive for murder.
The only one who, with any motive we've seen, is Ron Delight. Isn't that right, detective? Indeed! According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear.
Without a motive, it is nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us to what the defendant's motives were.
Honored to Sir Oldtimer.
They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance.
Hey, look at me! Had no point of contact with the victim whatsoever.
I'm gonna check the court record real fast because I'm pretty sure I have a piece of evidence that shows that. Okay, so he's in this, and the guys, the company, KB Security, I think they were the first ones tasked with taking on Mask to Mask. So that might be our thing that holds water.
Bullard decided to investigate Mask to Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letters and sent it to Ron Delight. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believed he is Mask to Mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy.
So the victim, Kane Bullard, blackmailed the defendant.
This is the blackmailed letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter.
What?
Very well. Mr. Wright, begin your cross-examination.
Oh
Can
boy.
we take a look at that blackmail letter?
Where is it? Ah, there it is. If you don't want your true identity revealed to the world, come to KB Security at 1 a.m. on October 12th and bring $50,000. If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received on... Wait a minute. Red diamond?
What's the color of the diamond? Let's do the crap, what is it called? The newspaper clipping.
The newspaper clipping? This one?
Yep, that one. That's
So-
blue.
Hey! Interesting. A blue diamond. Had no point of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Mask to Mask and simply mistook who he was. Mr. Bullard.
Present the blackmail letter here.
Here?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Why would he send the red diamond? What is on Atmee's fingers?
A red diamond?
And that's what this blackmail letter is saying. A
Interesting.
red diamond.
So that's what I was thinking at first, but then like you had mentioned the blue diamond and the newspaper clipping, and then I wasn't so sure. Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atmee?
Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's all right.
When you said this letter was addressed to Ron Delight, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction.
Contradiction? I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that.
You're one to talk!
At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you got there, Junior?
Indeed. Time to man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter.
Okay. Oh, now it could be the newspaper clipping.
Yep. Because that is blue. That diamond's blue.
Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the Tear of Enmon, the stolen jewel.
What about it?
The problem is this jewel's color.
Color? I'm not much for discussing color myself.
According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take the red diamond you received the other day.
Red!
Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the tear of Enman. That Master Mass stole it all.
Objection!
Point is, Mr. Trite. So you're trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That is why that is what you're trying to say, right, Trite?
That is what you're trying to say? Right, Mr. Wright?
Well, that's what you're trying to say, right, Nick?
Yes. This is who Kane Bullard was actually blackmailing. Had to be Atmee because of the diamond.
Take that!
Naturally, it was you, Detective Atmee.
You have some sort of bias for that claim?
Basis.
Oh, do you have some sort of basis for that claim?
You have been personally involved in every single Master Mass case. And in the last case, you recovered what was stolen and received a jewel as your reward.
Jewel?
Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring. That is the diamond referred to in the letter. Which means that Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you.
Order! Order in the courtroom! Order, I said.
It seems you gotten too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Trite.
Uh-oh. I don't like the way he said that.
Kane Bullard blackmailing Luke Atmee? Are you for real?
Yes, I am.
Nick, come on, stand up to him.
Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world.
Yes, it certainly does.
Kane Bullard threatened to make Luke Atmee's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So just what was that identity?
Atmee killed Kane Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret?
This is what it all comes down to, Nick.
The identity that Luke Atmee wanted so desperately to keep secret was his identity as... Can't be an ace detective. Can't be a Master Mass.
Yeah, he was blackmailing Master Mass, giving all the giving him the information.
Oh, right. Luke Atmee was a blackmailer.
Objection!
Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Kane Bullard was the one blackmailing Luke Atmee. Are you saying that Atmee was blackmailing someone else on top of that?
You have to admit, that does sound a little odd.
It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atmee. But Ron Delight was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident?
Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Anaman heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from a very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans.
Detailed plans. In which case, that would mean that Ron Delight was actually Master Mass.
That is what we are claiming. Someone else came up with the plan and had Mr. Delight steal targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke Atmee.
Silence! Now I see. It's all becoming clear!
What is?
When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with the tendency to jump conclusions. Am I wrong?
How did you?
You say that I, look at me, was blackmailing Ron Delight. In which case, I would naturally know all about his relation to Master Mask.
Well, yes.
Ron Delight started receiving plans from this second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime.
Good point. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise.
In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence. During the first crime, how did Luke Atmee know that Ron Delight was Master Mask?
Aha. He found the costume.
Yep.
I think I see it.
See what?
Oh, okay, I picked the wrong thing.
When you were in grade... Oh,
When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into a lot of mischief trying to be the center of attention.
what do you mean?
This newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Ron Delight in his guard uniform. It seems that Master Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket.
That sounds far too stupid to be true.
Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured out it was Mr. Atmee. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. Atmee. That's when you learned that it was Ron. It looks like he was...
Looks like he wasn't even an ace detective.
I can't believe it! He was just a slimy blackmailer!
What a fraud! Trying to pass himself off as ace detective. Why, you! How dare you expose me like that? I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I am a famous and proud ace detective, and also Master Mask. Why can't you understand that?
I'm afraid you are neither proud nor an ace detective. I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity.
Why, you? How dare you even dare to find out that there was a big mouth figure in your room for us saying now you're committing a genius! Discriminate me! Discriminate me! Ace detecting and a blackmail bird! It's enough to make one laugh!
Well, that happened.
It would seem we finally arrived at the real answer.
That was quite a performance by Mr. Atmee.
Bailiff, please prepare a cell for Mr. Atmee.
Objection!
What?
He's not done yet. The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim.
What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my ruling.
Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge.
You don't get much more in your face than that.
It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Trite.
What do you...
True that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke Atmee being a filthy blackmailer. And that he wasn't at Lurley Taylor the night of the murder.
That's right. That's why he's the one who killed Mr. Bull.
But there's still one thing you have yet to prove.
What's that?
Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you cannot prove that this pitiful excuse of a man was at KB security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered.
No. No way!
Order! Order in the court! Well, Mr. Wright,
This is it. This is the final round. I've got to prove that Atmee was at Bullard's office on the night.
But can you really prove that?
That's long enough, Mr. Trite. I want to hear your answer.
That night, Luke Atmee was at KB Security, and the defense... was a record. Wait, maybe? No. No. I don't even know why I clicked that one. Camera data, the camera warehouse. We can't. We have
Can't
no
prove
proof. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, we have no proof. We're fucked.
So I can't prove it then.
I can't prove it.
just as I thought.
But if we hear more of Detective Atmee's testimony...
Fortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Trite.
What do you mean?
I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean.
What?
Have you forgotten? Luke Atmee is here after we interrupted his own trial. And you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict as mask to mask.
No!
Oh now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as mask to mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Rhonda Lights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness.
Order! Order in the court! That's enough deliberation over this witness.
I can't believe this! At this rate, Ron is...
Don't give up now, Nick! We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and...
By then it'll be too late.
Huh? Why?
Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law.
Double jeopardy?
Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court, that defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental rule of all courts, and it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else.
Mr. Atmee will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as mask to mask, which means
He will be innocent as far as the murder of Kane Bullard is concerned.
No way!
The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Atmee's guilt of that crime here means that he will never be tried as Kane Bullard's murderer, means that he will never again be tried as Kane Bullard's murderer.
if I remember correctly, double jeopardy is a real thing.
Yeah, it's real. It's a federal law. You can't be tried for the same crime after you've been declared guilty.
Or declared innocent, either way. However, if new evidence is found out and is and has been approved in the court of law, another trial can be placed, I believe.
I actually don't think that's true. I mean, I could be wrong about that. But I'm pretty sure, like, you know, once the trial has been conducted, then that's it. Unless it's a new crime.
It's for the same crime.
Now there's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer, Luke Atmee, will go free.
Okay, maybe I was mistaken.
You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. And as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke Atmee.
What? Mia!
I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result.
How did you?
Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets.
That voice. No way!
Long time no see, Phoenix.
Mia! This is the true power of the Crane channeling technique. I know that it's really Maya who's standing before me. But right now, she's my mentor, Mia Fey.
Now, let's do this.
But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine.
Not yet. The testimony's not over yet.
What do you mean?
Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today.
Yes, that's true, but
Unfortunately, Your Honor, you've forgotten something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks. Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as mask to mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Ron Delight will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with my full force of my ace detectiveness.
Yes, but his comments appear to have no importance whatsoever.
Very well. Then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as these witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert our right to question them. Is that all right with you, prosecutor?
Is something the matter, Mr. Godot?
Nothing. Oh, sir lawyer! It looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehood will do anything to me, look at... Let's hear it. Huh? It's true that the witness has made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination. Mr. Godot, what are you...
Very well then, Mr. Luke Atmee. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks.
The defense would like to hear why you declare the defendant to be the true murderer.
So please, give us one last bit of testimony.
Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance.
Yes, Chief.
Oh, hell.
Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lordly Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Ron Delight. And thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left the prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing his mask to mask outfits, which is why he left no prints. And the blackmail letter? The victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. Zavari! Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy.
This testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well.
The witness's earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained, and none of them seem to contradict anything.
Of course.
But, how did you know about the emergency buzzer?
The police investigation documents were directly through me. And I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, sir lawyer. Going to make even more trouble for us now, sir lawyer.
I will not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
We cannot postpone Luke Atmee's trial any longer. This is your last chance.
Hang on a sec. Just one chance?
It seems that the party's about to begin. Well, Phoenix?
There isn't any evidence that contradicts with that testimony.
So it would seem.
What do you mean? So it would seem.
Listen, Phoenix. Pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. If you cannot point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it. This is instant game over town.
Oh, fuck.
Cup number 17. My last cup. It seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial.
I
have to find a fatal contradiction in this testimony. And I need to point it out without even presenting evidence. Which means all I can do is find the contradiction remark and press it.
Remember, you only get one chance. You
Very-
better save.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your final cross-examination.
Oh, Heisenberg. So I pressed the wrong thing and it's game over?
Yes.
Way to put the pressure on a guy!
You have 11 statements here.
Okay, indeed, it was true. I was not at the Lordly Tailor. Nothing suspicious about that. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that Ron Delight was the true culprit. Thanks to the key card and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. Wait a minute! Wait a minute! The buzzer!
what?
How did he know it went off?
He just stated that.
What?
He said all the court documents went through him first.
Oh, right. The victim would have left prints if it sounded, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. The victim just mistook the color of the jewel. Well, therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy. I find it very unlikely that someone mistook the color of the jewel. But that's not enough to get him convicted.
Just think it over.
There's a lot of information to think over.
If you need a hint, let me know. I'm not giving you this answer, though. I want to see you puzzle this out.
Okay,
What Mia said is true. There is no evidence that you could present here that will catch him. You have to press a statement.
Oh, great. Okay, so it's literally a shot in the dark. I got a 1 in 11 chance of getting this right.
Right, but just kind of break it down. Try to piece it together. Use me as a sounding board.
All right.
It was not at Lordly Tailor. Okay, so he just confessed to that. So, first statement, done. You don't need it. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. That won't get us anything. Second statement, done. I had known about this date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. Third statement, also done. There's really nothing we can get out of that. My brilliant deduction informed me that the true culprit was Ron Delight. Okay, the fourth statement. Now,
To be fair, that fourth statement is just basically like an introduction to his other statements.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's see. Fifth statement. Thanks to the key card and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. Wait. Let me just check the wallet. Found at 1 a.m. the night of the crime. And the key card. Used it
I found it in his wallet. So that is true. The key
Okay.
card and wallet, it's clear that Master Mask was there. That Ron was there.
Okay, so there's nothing really I can get out of the fifth statement. Number 6, I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once.
He saw the police report.
Okay, the button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. He's right about that. Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit, which is... Wait a minute. Your Master Mask, you're saying? Okay, so this statement might be it. The victim mistook the color of the jewel. Okay, so it must be number 9. Mr. Atmee, about this last remark.
Objection!
You still don't get it, do you, trite? This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement.
I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Godot.
What?
Mr. Atmee, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder.
Okay, how can you say that?
Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Atmee? The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Delight was wearing his mask-to-mask outfit. Is that correct?
Indeed. That's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof.
More like your deductions prove that you're a fool.
I'm sorry? Whatever do you mean? For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty.
When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron Delight was dressed as Mask to Mask when he went to the scene of the crime?
That was,
It was just a few hours ago. Back when my 6th cup was staring at me like looking at me with a cold stare.
Huh? Oh, I did forget to mention it before. I'm sorry. I just never had a chance to mention it up until now.
That's right. The defendant had yet to tell anyone this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should have known this are those who had been watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Atmee? There's no way you should have known about that! You were in the next courtroom being tried as Mask to Mask. So then enlighten us. Just how did you know that piece of information?
objection!
Well, come on. This detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand.
And it's those chances that I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. Delight was wearing his mask-to-mask outfit. There is one and only one way for Detective Atmee to have found out about that.
Only one?
One way, you say?
Please recall, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony.
When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there.
For a second, my client witnessed the real killer.
Objection!
Mr. Delight never saw his attacker. So there's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was Luke Atmee.
It is with that statement that I turn this case on its head.
What are you implying?
Mr. Delight saw the real killer, correct? Now, if you turn that statement around, it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Ron Delight.
Impossible.
Damn. Detective Atmee, you saw Mask to Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Kane Bullard and assaulted Ron Delight. That was the only way you could have known what Ron was wearing.
Uh-oh. Breakdown time. Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one myself! Here I am, the tragic clown!
That's the same line you gave yesterday.
But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time.
What an awfully complicated incident. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atmee, who was in turn blackmailing Ron Delight. And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke Atmee tried to frame Ron Delight. He then claimed to be guilty as Master Mask in order to escape his true crime.
And to that end, he came up with this plan to use the double jeopardy rule when making his alibi.
This is
Oh,
Ron again.
it's Ron. At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth.
Excuse me.
I can perilously close the... I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of murderer.
Don't ignore me!
Oh, I didn't realize you were there.
Why wouldn't he be?
About the verdict.
I know. You never committed any murder.
That's right. I am so glad that you understand that, but I really am Master Mask!
Huh?
So thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm now innocent, right?
That is true, double jeopardy!
What was it you said?
Oh my god!
He is... We got him cleared!
Oh my god!
Now
You're innocent, Ron!
now that you mention it,
I've been careless.
Careless? What do you think, Mia?
As the defendant said, the rule of double jeopardy is absolute. A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was once found innocent.
Then, Master Mask is really innocent?
It would seem so. For now.
For now.
now then, this court finds the defendant not guilty.
Yeah! Oh my fuck.
They got a twofer right there.
Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, this isn't so good after all. You see, the thing is, I'm still am Master Mask after all.
You did it, Phoenix.
Thanks, Mia. It has been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's because Maya doesn't call on me much these days.
Oh?
I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so serious. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days.
You mean about becoming the master of the Crane Channeling School?
I mean, the master means saying goodbye to our mother.
Oh. Misty Faye, right?
Watch over her, will you, Phoenix?
Of course.
Well then, see you around.
Mia.
Ah, Mr. Wright. I don't know what to say.
Congratulations, Mr. Delight.
Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore, though. Now that...
Okay.
Come on, just be happy already!
Maya.
You've been cleared of the murder charges and got off as Master Mask to boot.
But in exchange, I lost everything.
Huh? What do you mean?
Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Master Mask. I did it all for one reason. For her.
You mean your wife, Desiree?
She hates criminals more than anything.
Come to think of it, she was the one who was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she?
She's always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure.
So that's why you became Master Mask.
Yes, but it's all over now. A broken bowl can never be put back together.
That's not true, right, Nick?
Right. Really? Can we go back to the way things were?
He'll be fine, and Nick can prove it.
I can? I kinda wish you would check with me first. Mr. Delight, even if a bowl is broken, there's always a way to put it back together. Oh, I get it. We present the jar. Zeke, hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, you present the urn.
Okay. Oh, we got 4 lemons from Jawware and a diamond from Joe. Thank you, gentlemen.
The sacred urn. Jessie was the one who found these.
Desiree, your wife. She always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, an ice cream from Shadow. Thank you. Miss Delight.
You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy.
Thank you. I appreciate that, but, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you?
Ronnie, why didn't you tell me about what was going on? I had no idea you quit KB Security. I never imagined that you were really Master Mask either.
Miss Delight, what are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you?
Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away?
What the hell are your tastes?
After all, my bike's really fast. So fast that there's no way he could ever get away.
But didn't you say that you hated criminals?
Oh, I hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective.
I see.
My Ronnie went and declared his crimes before he committed them, like a man. No, she does have a point.
Okay, fair enough.
I just love a man who is so chivalrous.
Chivalrous?
I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement.
Jessie.
Desiree, you really do love Ron, don't you? I'm still not buying it.
Nicky boy,
Yes?
I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us.
Oh, well, take care of yourself.
You too, Nicky boy.
I can feel my face going red.
Oh no!
Mr. Nick! Mystic Maya! Congratulations!
Talk about bad timing.
Mr. Nick! How could you? With another man's wife in front of Mystic Maya! No, you got her wrong! I'll never forgive you ever!
He just got bitch slapped by a 9-year-old.
So just as the case came to a close, so too did my consciousness.
Damn, Pearl, you got freaking fists of iron? What the hell?
Ron said, a broken bowl can never be put back together. But I know that's not true. I mean, just look.
Aww.
Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together, even better than before.
Wow.
Episode 2, The Stolen Turnabout. The end.
Well. Well, this All right, lads, we got something good to look forward to next stream.
I figured you'll probably enjoy that little thing right there.
Oh man, we're all going to the horny corner next time.
Turnabout Horny Corner. Up next. I forgot about that case icon. Yes, just a heads up, everyone. This is argued as one of the worst turnabouts in the trilogy.
Oh, I'm sure it can't be that bad.
I mean, it's
If
Ace
we
Attorney,
survive
it's not
Clown
that
Man,
bad.
if we survive Mr. My jokes are funny, then we can survive whatever the hell this is.
I mean, there's I think one annoying character in this.
Just one? There were like 5 in that circus turnabout, so I think we got this. All right. Anyway, lads, we will see you guys next week.
See ya.